Hello, hey, hi, welcome back to another video. Today we are organizing my yarn stash. Basically, the reason why I'm doing this video is because part of my 2026 goals is to completely work through my yarn stash. All of the skeins that are currently on my shelf I want gone, or at least mostly gone and on the way to being left with zero yarn in my yarn stash. The way I'm going to do this is I downloaded an app on my phone. It is called Yarn Buddy. On this app, you can list your different projects, kind of like Ravelry, where you have all of your different projects and it tracks when you started them, when you ended them, like how much yarn you used, what kind of yarn you used, all of that good stuff. It tracks the different tools that you have in your stash, converts things for you, substitutes different yarns and different patterns. It also holds patterns actually in the app as well. But the thing I really want to do is actually using the yarn stash. It'll keep track of the brand, the colorway, my yardage, the grams. If I have a project in mind, I can go straight to my stash and say, oh, what kind of yarn do I want to use for this project? Or say, I have a yarn that I need to use. What kinds of projects can I do with this amount of this type of yarn? So I think that this is going to be really handy for those kinds of things. I still am going to keep my journal for my actual projects completed, when I started them, when I finished them, all of that good stuff, but this is for my actual yarn. That way I have like calculated quantities and stuff, because it will convert using the labels like yardage and grams to actually how much yards I have left in a certain skein, which is very nice. I do have a good idea of what's in my yarn stash. However, there is one dreaded bin of stuff that I don't know how I got it. I think it's originally from my mom, because she's also a very crafting person, and it somehow ended up into my stash. I don't have a label for it. I don't know what weight it is. I just know it's a ball of yarn, and that's pretty much it. So I'm not sure how I'm going to like stash that, how I'm going to do that, but I figured I will take you with me and I will see how I decide to deal with that. I have projects in mind for some specific yarn. That's why I know what it is in my brain. However, not all of it I know what to do with, or I also, like, I know there's some stuff in there that I've totally forgotten about, and I would just like to have it cataloged into like one place that I can see photos of it, how much I have, and all of that good stuff. So yeah, I think we should go over to my closet and I'll give you a little tour and show you what all I've done so far. Welcome to my closet. This is where I keep all of my yarn that I'm not currently working with. As you can see, I have probably a good amount. Plus this cube here is also full of yarn. It is the dreaded bin of stuff that I don't really know. Actually, there is some stuff that I do know what's in here. Part of this is also I want to reorganize some things, because not all of these cubes are the most accessible. Like this one. This looks pretty good, but I don't like how this is stacked here. So what I've already done, and part of what is already into my phone, is these cubes here. These are just my all-in-one granny square yarn from Red Heart, and then some adjoining skeins, and then just another leftover Red Heart from a vest that I made. I'm planning on like doing a whole bunch of granny squares and making some vests in different colors, and then whatever leftover I'll figure out what to do, maybe like a scarf, or I've seen like bucket hat granny squares. I'm not really sure, but that's kind of my plan for these, and I'll probably start to work into these somewhat soon, but I haven't done anything else that you see here. These are also whips. I'm gonna do a finish all of my whips video here soon as well, so hopefully this will be mostly cleared out. And I also don't think I'm going to have to track this yarn, because it is basically already all being used, and whatever left over, then I'll add it to my stash. So this is what we're looking like, really. This is scrap. This is a lot of scrap, or like my chenille slash like bulkier yarn that I don't use very often. This cubby here, you can't really see it, but it is a bunch of different acrylics, kind of bigger skeins. Some of it I know what I'm doing it with, some of it I don't. So, I think are just going to get started. For now, I'm going to start with my other acrylic stuff down in this far corner. Like I said, some of it I know what I'm going to do, some of it I don't. Okay, I have finished the whole bottom row here, which was pretty easy. They were much bigger skeins than some of these ones up here, especially this cubby here. I don't know if you can see it super well. It's a lot of my really fine yarn, and also a lot of these were pretty full skeins. This is going to be my next cube to tackle. Luckily, they're all untouched skeins except for this, which is left over of one of these. So this I also don't think is going to be too bad, but we'll have to double check and see. So yeah, I don't think this is going to be too big of an issue. I'm also going to skip this one for now, just because it is a lot of scraps, and it's just like scrap acrylic stuff that I'm not really sure what to do with just yet, and I'm not sure how to catalog it specifically, so I'm going to skip this one for now. Some of them I don't know how they came into my stash. Like this one, I've just been using it for scrap stuff because it wasn't like large enough to do anything other than scrap projects with. So I'm going to skip this one for now. This cube is going to be a little bit difficult just because there are a lot of really smaller skeins, so it's going to take me kind of a long time. So we're just gonna tackle this one for now, and it'll be a-okay. Okay, I officially have all of these cubes done. Again, I'm just sitting on this just for now. I don't know how I'm going to categorize it yet. So these are just sitting. I also did some reorganization where I took the tea time out and I put it into this cube. All of the Friends 8-4 cotton in the individual skeins, not the ones that are in the packs, are all going to the same project. So I felt like I didn't need to see all of the colors because I know exactly what I'm doing. And then also the sock yarn is in front of the tea time because those projects I want to get done first. The merino wool, I have a sweater that I want to make with it, another kind of shirt sweater with the cotton, the socks, obviously I want to make socks, so I want those to be done before I start to use the tea time because those have been projects that have been shelved for a kind of a long time, especially the K&C superwash wool. That has been in my stash since like whenever Joann first announced that they would be like actually closing for good. So I want to get those done before I actually use the tea time because that is the newest in my stash. And I have an idea, but I'm not 100% sold on it, whereas I know exactly the patterns that I'm going to use for the other things of yarn. In here I also have patterns for both the mandala, the 8-4, and the I Love This yarn. The K&C essential cotton, I was thinking bandanas, or I could make a shirt with both of them combined. I kind of like those two colors together, both the kind of green and the pink. So I'm still debating on that, what I want to do with it, but I want to use what's around it before I get to that. So that'll probably also be one of the later yarns to use in this year. So all that's left is the cottons, my like budgeter cottons, the like not so soft stuff, the like Lily Sugar and Cream stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna get cracking and hopefully we should be done here pretty soon. Oh, except I forgot about the dreaded cube. Well, I'll deal with that. But first, let's do all the stuff that I can actually. So I'm in a little bit of a dilemma slash I'm not really sure what to do. So I pulled down my bin. Also, I emptied out an entire cubby, which is pretty good. But I pulled down my bin of like random stuff, and a lot of it is like scraps from other projects. Like I have like extra wool from like a shawl on a top that I made. I have extra like cotton and stuff, the Kobu yarn. I have extra from this. This was from the Hobbii mystery box. I made like a shirt, but I didn't use all of it, so I want to make another one. And then just like other little bits of like scrap, like acrylic stuff. So, and also none of these have label. Well, this one has a label, but pretty much the rest of these don't have labels. So I'm not really sure how I want to categorize them, or like put them in my like stash, like actually. Plus all of these scraps that I also don't know what to do or like how to catalog them. So I'm thinking I might need to start another scrap project. But overall, I feel pretty good about what I have. A few of them are like really itty bitty, or like this is like super fine stuff. Like this is probably like a weight 0. It's really fine. Or like these little scraps too. Like I think I might have to do like a little scrap project. I had these 2 little guys in here as well from like a amigurumi kit I did like 2 years ago, but they're pretty similar in weight and feel to the Friends cotton. This is like I think the Shape Shiz, I don't know how to pronounce it, cotton that a lot of amigurumi people like. It's very similar to the Friends Cotton 8-4, so I'm just going to put it with the project that I have planned for that, because it will look very crazy all over the place because of all of the colors, so I think they'll blend in okay there. However, for this stuff, I think I might just end up having to do another scrap project. I have this Kobu yarn that I was using for bandanas and stuff, but I have a good amount of them, and I still have a lot left. This is also I used for this too. I had like 2 skeins of each, and I somehow cannot get rid of all of the yarn. So, yeah, I'll have to think over what I want to do with this. But overall, I feel pretty good about my stash and like being able to work through it over the next year. But I think we should head back over to my desk so that we can finish up this video. Okay, well, I feel pretty good about having my whole stash pretty much all listed on my app, all with photos and yardage and everything. That makes me feel pretty good. Now, I did go ahead and I added up all of the yarns that I have in my stash, and it comes to a total of 30,447 yards. That's not including the like scrap stuff or the larger chenille yarn that I don't use very often. So that's just like my full skeins, or mostly full skeins of acrylic and cotton, which is pretty crazy. I don't know if I'm going to be able to use 30,000 yards of yarn this year. That's honestly a lot more than I thought. That's a wild number to wrap my head around. Hopefully I can get through it most of this year. I have ideas for most of the yarn. It's just a few skeins that I'm like, I'm not sure. I have some ideas, but none of them have really like sold me yet. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about all of that. So, thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, make sure you like it. Subscribe so that you don't miss more videos from me. Or check out any of my other videos that I've already posted. I think you might like them, so you should check them out. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.